guys, make my content more amazing for you guys. So guys, I think my phone just blacked out again, but it's mainly because I wasn't paying attention to it. Let's get into it. Basically, Deku, I'm sorry, I just got to making a recording for what if Deku was Loki part whatever, because the Loki TV show came out. Basically, this is gonna be where I'm gonna be last left off, part 2 of what if Benton was in Young Justice. Now, I was thinking about redoing this and doing it in season 1, but I just thought, I didn't want to restart everything and throw this what if out the door. Also, I thought this what if was pretty good. And season 2 was a pretty good season to start with. Now let's get into it. Now basically, I last left off with Justice League left to clear their name out when Vandal Savage controlled them for a year, or 5 years ago he put them under his control and made them. Guys, so this is what if Benton was in Young Justice Part 2. Now, Part 1 was about a week ago, or a couple days ago, but yeah, I don't do Part 2s this quickly, but when they request it, I obviously do them. So, yeah, so basically, guys, I just want to say this again. Please, guys, comment down below, because the more comments, the more connection I get with you guys, and the more I can get better with my YouTube channel, and, make my content, make them do some bad stuff. So, what they would be doing at this point, they would be basically going to the planet they attacked. I don't remember the name, but they would go to the planet they attacked and trying to clear out their name and all that other jazz. So, what would be happening is the Young Justice will be left in charge alongside a couple other Justice Leaguers that didn't come, that weren't, there. So, let's get started, guys. Now, first we start the episode with basically Red Arrow or Arsenal basically taking down a robbery, or pretty much thwarting a robbery in progress. Him taking a little bit of cash for himself, and Green Arrow watching the whole thing, basically saying, "We found him, and I think it's worse than we thought." And then we get hit with the intro. We switch to Ben after that, and Ben will be in his bed, pretty much just on his phone, tinkering with the Omnitrix just a little bit. So we switch back to the Justice League setting up the Zeta Beam setting up the Zeta Beam satellites to keep all creatures that are teleporting to off-world or in-world, and letting the Justice League still use their Zeta Beam technology, but them not even aliens could well do illegal teleporting. So Ben pretty much wakes up and walks into the main hall, the main cave, where the rest of the Young Justice is watching when the Zeta Beam technology is up and running. Pretty much, they start talking about Zeta Beams, and then pretty much Lagoon Boy asked Ben, "Where are you at?" Ben said, "I was asleep," pretty much in his pretty much blue jean pants with a black shirt on, with no shoes, just socks, walking off, and pretty much saying that Blue Beetle asks the Scarab, or he just says, what's to say? It was a boom tube. What's a boom tube? Basically, Superboy saying the satellites won't stop a spaceship or a boom tube. Pretty much, the Scarab explains what a boom tube is to, well, basically, they start talking a little bit, and then Superboy sees, Lagoon Boy and Martian Girl getting, handsy, or like them talking about a date or whatever. And pretty much Superboy gets kind of angry by this, doesn't really show it, but grabs Blue Beetle and Ben, pretty much saying, we're taking the night off, pretty much dragging them out of the hall. Ben said, "I got some shoes on first," but pretty much Connor saying, "You could transform into any alien, you don't need shoes." Now, basically, we switch later when Ben, Blue Beetle, and Connor are out on patrol in Connor's ship with the Wolf, or whatever his name is. Now, before we got to that, we would have a conversation with Speedy, or the clone of Speedy, pretty much talking to Green Arrow, Nightwing, Black Canary, Kid Flash, and also, what was it? Also a couple other people. So, basically, with Ben, Blue Beetle, and Connor, or Sewer Boy, pretty much going on patrol. So basically, when they're out patrol, pretty much Blue Beetle gets the idea to pretty much ask Connor, what was it like? What are you doing? Blah blah blah. Asking, you only picked us because we weren't studying like Gar and doing whatever Lagoon Boy and Martian Girl was doing. So basically, Superboy says, okay, I really want to help, and pretty much lets them in on the plan, or the mission, that the bomb Aqualad used to blow up the island was from alien origin. Obviously, the Crotans didn't know about it, and pretty much going on the mission, pretty much them talking like in canon. Now, after they get the conversation about the mission, we get switched back to pretty much Red Hood, or not Red Hood, basically get switched to, Speedy, or the clone of Speedy, pretty much talking to the rest of the group. It going exactly the same. Basically, I'm not gonna go back on that story because everything in that story just goes the same because Beetle didn't really change it that much. So, now they arrive at the Hall of Justice where the crooks are going to smuggle some alien technology, or they don't know what's going on yet. Now, Ben says we gotta jump in there now before they do something, but, Blue Beetle says to stay your mouth shut and not, just jump into the fight so recklessly. Ben says, okay, whatever, and they pretty much just start waiting to see if they were gonna do anything. Pretty much, Blue Beetle, pretty much, what was it? Kyle tries to use his X-ray vision to see through the case that they're holding, but can't see through it. He asks Blue Beetle to use some of his tech to see through it, but the Scarab says it's incompatible and he can't use it, or he can't scan through it. Pretty much, Blue Beetle gets angry and says, not compatible again? What is wrong with this thing? Pretty much Ben says, I can do it, and transforms into Ghost Freak. Transforms into Ghost Freak and flies over there, turning invisible, pretty much going towards the case, trying to look through it. But he finds out that the case is some sort of protected against pretty much the alien species Ghost Freak is. Ghost Freak is protected by some sort of, I don't know, middle that pretty much Ghost Freak species can't phase through or look into. So Ghost Freak flies back to the ship, invisible, and pretty much says I can't phase through it. It's some sort of material that my species of Ghost Freak can't phase through, and probably Big Joe can't phase through it either. So basically, they go on with the same mission. Pretty much, Kyle asks, to scan the Hall of Justice, and pretty much, what was it? No, Connor asked Blue Beetle to scan the Hall of Justice because we might have to warn the people inside the Hall of Justice that those people are going to cause an attack. Pretty much, they scan it, or Blue Beetle scans it pretty fast and says there's no one in it. It's a dead zone. Basically, Ghost Freak says, why not just take them out now? I could just take them out now, stealthily as possible, just possess them. Pretty much, Connor says, no, you gotta see what they're gonna do first. And Ben says, whatever. Still in Ghost Freak for him. Pretty much, and they jump in to stop them after they take out some sort of device that's from Apocalypse that's messing up with spears. Pretty much attack the ship that they're riding on. Pretty much, the wolf and Connor jump down, pretty much saying the show's over and to stop. Pretty much Ben flying down as well, but Blue Beetle still being affected by some from the blast the machine's giving off. Him pretty much, being in pain, and the Blue Beetle Scarab saying not compatible over and over and over again. Now, as that's happening, the artifacts that are in the Hall of Justice are coming to life and merging together to make one giant monster or creature. Pretty much they try to stop them, and they automatically get folded. When Superboy says they'll stop, pretty much the thug says, well, the person or the villain says, well, you're half right. It is over. Pretty much the creature that came to life busts into the walls of the Hall of Justice, pretty much fighting Connor and also fighting Ghost Freak. But Ghost Freak facing through its attacks, pretty much Ben looking at it, seeing it's about the same size as Humongosaur at full sized up. So he transforms into Humongosaur, but Ben transforming into Ditto. Ben says, really, it was only one transformation I wanted today, and that was Humongosaur. Pretty much Ben saying, I can work with this. Him multiplying himself about 21 times, going around the monster, trying to disorient it and distract it, when Connor tries to go for a hit against the creature. They start to try to fight it, and then they find out that it starts regenerating itself every time it gets damaged. Ditto finds this, but the Beetle finds it out as first or fastest, pretty much saying, what is that thing? And they say it's a Phylaxium battle golem. Pretty much the Scarab explain the golem, and also the golem. So they start going in, and Blue Beetle starts shooting multiple blasts of energy towards the golem again and again and again. The golem regenerates more and more, or heals itself, and starts pouncing and stopping on top of the Dittos. Pretty much the Dittos feeling a lot of pain, but not dying. Pretty much Ben says this is a really bad transformation, and pretty much transforms into another transformation. Into Wildfire. Wildfire sees that the crook is controlling, or the Grotain, or the Valaxian war golem is being controlled or being kept alive by the machine the people or the two thugs are holding. Pretty much, Wildfire flies straight towards them trying to stop the machine, but gets punched in the face, or kicked in the face by the red-haired woman, Shria. I don't know how to pronounce her name. So he falls into the ground and starts fighting with her for about a couple minutes. And winning, obviously, because he has, well, over enhanced strength and also a couple other powers. So he mind controls both of them to stop the machine, and pretty much the golem goes out of commission, and pretty much Ben transforms into Humongosaur, and pretty much punches the golem into little pieces, destroying it and taking it out pretty fast. Now, near the end of the episode, basically, for this episode, it'd be like really short, but near the end of the episode, we find out that Roy, basically, or a clone of Speedy, is basically a father. The father of a child of Estra. I don't know what her name is. And basically, that's where we're going to end off episode 1. Now let's move on to episode 2. So, let's get ready. Ben Earth. So yeah, episode 2. Now, we start our story off, episode 2, with basically Blue Beetle getting a call from his friend that he's about to leave town or get on the A train or the train to Houston. He arrives there just like in canon, but sees that his friend's gone and walks off, knowing that he was too late. So basically, we get hit with the intro, that fire intro, and then we can continue in the next story. Now we be continued with the mission with Batgirl, Bumblebee, Wonder Girl, and Martian Girl. Now, they would all be going on their mission, and Ben wouldn't be with them, so it would just be, the mission would go exactly the same, and I wouldn't really be touching on that part of the story. Because it wouldn't be changing really, it wouldn't really be changed at all, because Ben wouldn't be with them. Now, we continue with Blue Beetle going on his mission to try to find his friend. Pretty much, we could continue him at Ty's house. Ty, basically his stepfather or his mom's boyfriend, shows up and pretty much, says, I forgot my lunch, pretty much asking why the kid is here, aka talking to Jaimez. Pretty much Jaimez explains to him that, Reyes wasn't say wasn't, at school today. Blah blah blah, saying that, known board the thing, and pretty much having the same conversation like in canon, pretty much saying to, attack with a fire strike. We switch to Ben. Now Ben's just in his house, pretty much tinkering with the Omnitrix, finding out more about the transformations, unlocking a new transformation. And we're going to be continuing into that a little bit later. But we can switch back to Jaime's pretty much getting kind of hostile with, you know, his friend's mom's boyfriend. Now, basically, pretty much Jaime's leaves and says, what's up with him? Pretty much his friend's mom saying that, my boyfriend has some bad days. And Jaime says he has a lot of bad days, I hear. He has a lot of bad days, I hear. Pretty much looking at her with, sorriness in his eyes, saying, don't stay with him. Not saying it, but like giving her that look. So basically, she says, he's a good man, blah, blah, blah. So that he has some good days. He has good days as well. Jaime saying, pretty much him walking off. Pretty much Jaime goes to Ty's house to try to find out what's going on. Pretty much, Jaime's getting a call from Ben. Pretty much him saying, excuse me, and calling Ben, answering the phone, saying, what's up, Ben? Saying, I'm in a situation right now. Ben says, what you doing? I gotta hang out and I have some free time. Pretty much, Jaime says, well, I am looking for a friend that went missing. Maybe you can help me. Ben say, yeah, I can help you. And pretty much says, where are you at? He gives, Ty's grandfather's address to Ben, and Ben gets there with Accelerate, detransforming at the front door, walking in, saying, hi, I'm Ben Tennyson. I'm Jaime's friend. Now, Jaime's and Ben are best friends because they both have alien technology, and also the Omnitrix and the Scarab, their, AIs actually do know each other. Or something like that. They do talk to each other telepathically. Basically, Jaime sits down, and pretty much Ben sits down at the stairs in the backyard of Ty's grandfather's house. So, they have the same conversation like in canon, but Ben sees Jaime's pretty much tech arm go up, seeing that, maybe the Scarab's trying to tell Jaime to take down the old man. Pretty much Ben walks off, saying it's been a great time meeting you, Ty's grandfather, pretty much walking off, seeing following Jaime's and leaving. Pretty much, Jaime's confronts Ty's grandfather, basically going over there with Ben. Ben stays back, but basically Ben and Jaime's go to meet up with Ty's mom's boyfriend. Pretty much going over there, talking about, pretty much village chief or something. Pretty much exposing and pretty much seeing that he has some sort of consoles and video games that he's selling off the black market or something. I don't know. Basically having the same conversation like in canon, Ben just being in the corner, not really saying anything, just seeing this play out. So basically, Jaime gets into a conversation with. They don't really get into a conversation. They fight, but they don't really fight. Jaime just lets him go. He pushes Jaime and walks off. So Jaime sees that Ty's kidnapping or missing doesn't have to do with anything with Ty's mom's boyfriend. So basically, Ben walks over to Jaime and says, "We'll find him eventually, bro. We always do. We're heroes." Basically, having a positive personality. Jaime saying, "Thank you, bro." Pretty much walking off. We continue. We continue later on when we find out that pretty much Ben and Jaime goes back home. They have a game night or something. They have a fun time eating some pizza, going to arcade. But then we would switch back to the rest of the crew, basically coming back from their mission, Batgirl, and, Batgirl, everybody else, blah, blah, pretty much them going back to their mission, explaining to them about their mission, saying that it was pretty, basically Ben starts, basically we could switch off a Ben story, and we could switch back to the end where we find out that Hymus's friend, or Ty, has been captured by, well, some aliens and are being experimented with other children or other teenagers. And we're going to be going on to that, pretty much thing later on. But basically, we're episode 6, nothing really happens, so I'm going to be skipping episode 6 and part 3 because nothing really happens, and pretty much Ben doesn't have a reason to be in episode 6, so episode 6 will be skipped, the episode where pretty much Impulse it arrives to the past. Pretty much that's going to be skipped because it's mainly about Impulse. And basically, also, we get switched to basically episode 6. I'm going to do episode 6 real quick. Episode 6 never really happened. Ben did have a cameo. He was instead of the other guy, it was actually Ben driving in on a motorcycle in the cave, basically letting Impulse able to leave. Impulse saying bye, Ben Tennyson, pretty much saying you're a really good hero in the future, running off. Pretty much Ben's confused and just drives back on into the cave. And that's the only thing we get from Ben the whole entire rest of the episodes, episode 6. So for episode 7, I'm going to be doing episode 7 and 8 for part 3. Now guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And see you guys later. And well, deuces. Bye.